So again, thank you, my man, for agreeing to do this. Huh? And
No doubt, no doubt.
awesome, awesome. So today we're talking about your journey to becoming a non-smoker, and obviously
Right.
we have to start from the beginning where you literally started smoking. When was that, and how did you start smoking?
Jeez, Big Mo, my goodness. Um, I would have to say it's a good 20, close to 20 years when I was in high school, you know.
Mm,
One was subjected consciously or subconsciously to peer pressure, I must say, you know.
yeah,
You always wanted to be in the into the clique, you know, you wanted to be in the group. So
yeah,
you come across your seniors smoking like in the bathroom, behind the school, around lunchtime, you know.
yeah, yeah.
So you'd always want to be like, you don't want to be left out. So I think those were the first couple of times I started my relationship with the tobacco, you know.
Mm,
But
mm,
for me, luckily, I was a very athletic kid, so I was engaged in a lot of sports. So I didn't become a heavy smoker at that time, but it became a regular habit, I would say.
yeah,
You know, after especially after the sports practice, like after soccer practice, all right, let's just have a couple of smokes. You know, it was a
mm,
casual thing, and one never took it too serious.
yeah.
But now that you pose that question to me, my man, 20 years was a long time ago.
20 years was a long time, man. And what I usually
Yes, man.
ask my guests is, in that time that you were actually smoking, did you ever get your lungs checked to see just how much of it you had wasted or not?
It's scary, and ever since you brought up this topic, I've been trying to engage in a little bit of research, you know, and it's very important, especially with the pandemic that's going on. One must be taking care of their health, and that's one of the things that also prompted me into the end of the relationship with the tobacco, you know.
Mhm.
It is quite interesting how we take our health for granted, man.
True.
And one thing I have to highlight, it's been a short journey. I mean, going to my third month now. You
Mhm.
know, I haven't gone extensively as you kind. So 7 years
Yeah.
is a long journey, you know.
Yeah.
But within that 3 months, I can certainly say I can definitely feel a difference in my health.
Yeah.
My breathing is a whole lot better, and
Mm.
it's great coming into a room and not being the one smelling of cigarettes, you know.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. You know, the reason why I ask you about you having to check your health and stuff is because I've seen amongst smokers that we tend to gauge our health with the next person. Like, if one person smokes like 20 cigarettes a day and we're still on 10, we've got this
Yes.
perception that we are still safe. We're not as bad as the next person. But however, what we don't realize is that uh, no amount of cigarette smoke is harmless. As in right now, I could be affected by just one cigarette, just one puff,
Yeah.
where somebody else can smoke
100.
like I got 50 years and they're still okay, you know. So I always find that intriguing, and it's kind of like some sort of research that I'm doing to see if people actually did take the time out to go check out if they've done any damage to their lungs or not, you know. However, moving on.
And
Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
no, no, okay, sorry. So carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you as well about it. Do you think it did affect your health in any way or your performance in any way? Like you say, you're quite an athletic person. Growing up, did you find that your performance kind of dropped a lot?
Uh, um, for me, at a very young age, I was diagnosed with asthmatic bronchitis. So that contributed a lot to my lung capacity in general, because I would find like, we're going to swimming practice. As I said, I started off in high school.
Yeah,
So in terms of my lung capacity, I did find a difference because as I was participating in sports such as soccer, I would find like tightness in my chest would occur more often
yeah,
with the regularity of me smoking, of course.
mm,
Um, did I check up and take notice of it, like getting medical checkups? It was not done, but physically, I was becoming of the toll it was taking on me, even though it was at a young age.
mm,
Um, Swimmings, particularly, you know, when you're doing the breaststroke, you know, you're holding your breath. That is the times where it really hit hard.
yeah,
And then after I was diagnosed with asthmatic bronchitis, things like totally changed because I'd literally go into spasms. during change of seasons,
Yeah.
as well as I said, doing exercises,
Yeah.
spur of the moments, my chest would tighten up, loss of breath. And in terms of endurance, your daily performance as the
Yeah.
years progressed,
Yeah.
also it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
So those are the physical aspects that I was becoming more aware of.
Mm. Mm.
So it's a valid point. As much as one was aware of the toll it was taking on their body, when one is never conscious enough to go to the doctor and say, hey, what's going on, doc?
Yeah.
Is it really affecting me? How bad is it?
Yeah.
It's a taboo. You know that it's doing harm to you, but
True.
you don't want to face the reality of the fact that you're killing yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, awesome. Awesome. So, but well, I want to believe that you also have like a life partner, or you've had multiple. Well,
Yes,
life
I would like to believe
partners.
so too.
So in that regard, I don't know if
Yeah.
they smoke or they ever smoked, and how has that affected your relationship, being a smoker?
It's that's a fantastic question, because let me break it down to you. I've been in relationships where my partner has been a smoker, and in that regard, you feed off each other. Baby, do you have a smoke?
Yeah.
Can I bomb off a smoke from you? You're hitting the garage like she's even giving you money to buy her. So in
Yeah.
that aspect, it never became an issue
Yeah.
when you're having a partner that smokes, because once, as I said, it's a taboo that you're fully aware. Like in the morning, like let's say you have a hectic weekend out, was saying, or both of you are saying, hey, it's heavy.
It's heavy.
But as soon as you shrug it off, you're back at it. You don't have that stability within the relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
It becomes more pronounced when your partner is a non-smoker, because the very first thing that hits home is when you're trying to get intimate with them, and you're reeking of smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the one thing that you're trying to do is trying to get close with your partner, and it really hits home when she's trying to push you back and say, hey,
Yeah.
you're smelling of smoke.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of the things, like, for the healthiness of the relationship. Once again, not the health of you as a being, but the relationship. It's you want to please your partner.
Mm.
So in that regard, you become conscious of what it's doing to the people around you that are non-smokers.
Yeah.
But once again, it's not a facet that you look at towards yourself and say, I gotta smoke because it's not healthy.
Yeah.
You're thinking it's not a healthy relationship, but you're not looking at yourself. It's not healthy for you.
True that. I the time where I actually had a fallout with some chick that I was dating back then. She literally did not want me smoking at all. And I'm kidding you not, I would smoke on a Monday and she'd come visit me on a Saturday and she'd tell me, you were smoking. And I'm like, how can you tell? Like,
I've been there, buddy. I've been there.
That's crazy.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You're trying to get all as much smoke as possible before she comes through. Oh, my man, I've been there, dog. Oh, my goodness. It's crazy. The one why I caught Lisa, sometimes you're meeting up with her, like within the next couple of hours, you're like, okay, chippies,
Yeah.
just to know, because you're going to be a lengthy time that you're not going to be smoking. It's ridiculous the kind of things we do as smokers or former smokers to get that fix,
Get the fix.
Don't worry, my man. I've been there as well.
But I was making one of my mates aware that, this whole thing of actually smoking in the car when you're alone and you're thinking, you're keeping your loved ones safe and stuff. It actually doesn't work, because we're actually leaving a lot of residue around us in the cars and the clothes and stuff like that. And that's
contained.
Especially our kids get infected, but they get sick from it because of the residue they pick up through their fingers and stuff like that. It's really crazy. So we really can't hide. I mean, we try and do it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Yeah.
No, man.
How then did you get to the part where you quit smoking? What brought that change?
My journey, it's been a love-hate relationship. You do come to a point where you feel that you got to smoke, because as these one of the habits your relationships with your children, your partner, your family. You know, my mom, yes, my mom's like has a really strong nose. You know, each time I smoked in high school, she was the first one to be like, "Yo, buddy, what's going on?" And you know, I think about the excuses when I was growing up. Like, you know, I was at the barbecues, people were smoking around me, and they seem so lame to me. You know, as long as we're clued up now, so our kids don't slip those excuses past us. But it was a love-hate relationship. You know, if you have a hectic weekend out with like rates over, no, I'm off it. A day would pass, 2 days, a week would pass if you're lucky, but you're right back on it.
You're right back.
As I said, being diagnosed with asthmatic bronchitis, I've had an on-off relationship.
Yeah.
But honestly speaking, with the pandemic that is overshadowing the globe and touched me personally, I would have to say, as I said, I recently stopped the beginning of the year when my dad passed away.
Oh snap.
My dad also had a lot of lung problems before the pandemic, but I think that one just drove home because I took one takes granted for what we're breathing in and breathing out, you know.
Yeah.
And then seeing my dad, what he went through, going through, just grasping for life, you know, made me realize, like, chap, watch out.
Yeah.
Life and life is precious, and every breath we take, we should be grateful, you know. So I would have to say, when my dad passed away, it wasn't even a conscious decision, you know. It's something that was just more aware because smoking, on another hand, smoking, it becomes time wasting, you know. So taking care of my dad, I had to be always on the ball, making sure that he is in an environment that is conducive for him to get enough oxygen. So it kind of hit home, like, I can't be smoking around him because he can't even breathe, you know. So consciously for me, it became irrelevant. As I said, you know, sometimes when one person wants to smoke, it takes us so much time. It's you're deviating for things that need to be done. So when I did realize, it was a good 3 weeks after my father passed, that I was like, hey, chap, you haven't had a smoke? You know, it didn't dawn to me until I think I was just out with a couple of guys, and it was a very potent smell, you know. You know, if you haven't smoked and people are smoking, you can feel like man.
Something.
And you're like, was I the one who was bringing the smell, this odor to other people? And it really hits home because given the times when you were smoking and you had a heavy day drinking and you didn't smoke for that couple of days, someone who would smoke around you, you could smell that this does not smell good.
I've got to say,
so honestly speaking,
my condolences on your dad passing on.
Man.
I've got to ask, was he a smoker or was he ever a smoker?
He was actually a smoker.
Is it?
He was actually a smoker, and we do have it's a heredity form of lung disease because his mother had lung problems. He also had lung problems prior to him contracting corona, but he was a smoker as well, and his journey was also that of protecting his family, and his wife also put the law down. Like, my mom really doesn't like the smell of smoke, and it became a predominant factor in the family, like the health of the relationship. Once again, the relationship between my mom and dad, which my mom totally didn't like it, and she kind of put her foot down, and he manned up and he quit.
Eventually quit. He quit years prior to COVID.
No, it was years, but it was years. It was a good, I think he hadn't smoked for a good 30 years himself.
Okay. The reason I ask is because there was an argument that was flighting that people that are still smoking have got less chances of contracting COVID. For some reason, there's some tests that they wanted to. I don't know if they were ever conclusive, but there was an argument. People that are still smoking seem to be more actually resistant to
Okay.
COVID. So that's why I was asking. I wanted to find out if you were still a smoker, and if maybe then that makes the argument now, you know. So yeah, but I mean, it's quite unfortunate that we constantly playing Russian roulette with our lives when it comes to cigarettes, and we don't realize it's a matter of time. Any moment now, it can take us out. I know when it's the time, and it's unfortunate.
No, that's true.
For somebody that had quit 30 years ago, they were still not strong enough to withstand COVID. You know, like I celebrate every year that I managed to stay a non-smoker. You know, yeah. So, according to you, what do you think quitting smoking has improved your life? How has it improved your life?
For me, it's an attribute of mind over matter, like literally, because I never had like patches or the chewing gum, you know, and I paid tribute to the power of my mind because, as I said, it wasn't a conscious decision. Like today, I'm quitting. It's just that, as I said, you're thinking of one's health. You prioritized your time because, as I said, a lot of time smoking is like escaping your world, the harshness of the reality of the world. You know, you're deviating from the plan because you're taking that 5 minutes, but you could be doing something more productive.
Yeah.
Or something more productive for your health, as I said.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a testament to my mental strength. Because as I said, a lot of people, I'm not saying that everybody can overcome non-smoking with just the power of the mind. Obviously, some people are they need assistance, but my testimony is I want to live longer. I want to do right by the family because I'm living in an environment that consists of my mother and sister now, and my baby girl and my partner, and you're being selfish, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of my surroundings. And then for me, yeah, that's the one thing that drives home. What are you doing bettering yourself for the people around you?
Yeah, you've said two things that are quite common to the chats that I've been having. One, which is that it frees up a lot of time. You find yourself having so much time in your hands to do so much
buddy.
stuff. Second,
I'm stressed. Let me have a smoke. No, I got to think about something. I got to brainstorm. I can think better. You know, you're just lying to yourself, buddy.
I used to think I was more productive at night, but like I'm sitting in a corner smoking, and I'm like, nah, dude.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
As well, that it's selfish. Being a smoker is selfish. How I learned that it was actually selfish was 12 months later after quitting. I reviewed my life policy, and these guys actually increased my life policy without actually increasing my premium, which is like, I've been robbing
my goodness
of these things, and right now the payout is possibly going to be, it is going to be twice what it would have been should I still be
100%.
So
100%.
I was robbing my family financially and time-wise because I find myself hiding from my son because I don't want to. Also, when I come back into the house, I need to go shower first before I can touch him or play with him. And so it was just pointless, honestly. Cool stuff. So I don't know if you know these statistics, but in South Africa, most people start smoking between the ages of 10, or from the ages of 10 to 14, going onwards.
10?
Yes, 10 years old.
For real?
For real.
Jeez. That's scary, buddy.
When you've got the time, maybe just go onto our website there and just check it out, www.smokelesslifestyle.co.za, and just check out the stuff that we've got up there. You'll be shocked at what you see. However, also, we've learned that people from the ages of 30 onwards are more cautious of their health, and this is when they become more prone to quitting, So I want to ask you, what would be your advice to that 10-year-old that wants to pick up cigarette smoking, at this time in age?
One must be blunt. As I said, it's when you're reading out those numbers. As I said, I don't want to be judgmental because, as I said, I have to think back how I started, and it's more of a peer pressure because it's not as if someone's like, oh, I like the smell of smoke at age 10 onwards and say like, yes, that smells good. I just want to escape. It's predominantly the people you surround yourself with, and it's an experimental stage, you know.
Yeah.
And hence I said it's a very sensitive topic because I'm one for experimenting back in the days, and you need to know your path. You know, one cannot dictate to you the path you should partake in the future, you know. But for me, it's know yourself. You know, if you're gonna do something, do it wholeheartedly, consciously, but it's not worth it. You know, it's time consuming. It's a filthy habit. You know, I'm saying this, not saying that I'm fully. I'm still battling day by day. You know, I haven't completely won the battle. I commend you yourself. It's encouraging to come across people such as yourself and my father who passed through that there is hope that one can take that milestone a bit further. And I celebrate it on a daily basis. And as I said, it's not worth it, guys. You know, all you gotta do is just sit next to a guy who's smoking and really embrace it. Are you embracing life or death?
Yeah.
Simply put, you know. So do you and do you for the future. That's the important thing.
I gotta say as well, it helps as well when you go through this journey with your family. You know, many time make them part of this, so that you yourself, you know, should you have like a setback, they are also there to help you through it. You know, it's something that you guys can celebrate together. That's one thing that actually got me through it. You know, yeah. So do that for yourself. Also, there's another friend of mine. He's got a bit of a much more tragic story where he went to go check his GP when he hit 40 years old. When the GP told him he's not gonna see past 5 years if he stays a smoker. You know? So he tells me that he went cold turkey one time, and unfortunately for him, a few months later, his brain started swelling. You know, so his brain started swelling, his lungs were with some sort of complications and stuff, which then brings back to the point that I wanted to make to you as well. Seeing that you've been smoking for this long, you wouldn't have to maybe just consult with your GP and say, look, I'm going through this journey, and I just wanted to just check, you know, if one is still in good health and look out for any possible issues for the near future, you know. Because I mean, going cold turkey could also just bring on some sort of complications for you.
No, my man. As I said, I was quite fascinated because you know, such platforms are encouraging. You know, I watched a couple of your shows and you know I jumped into it. You know, they may seem like, as I said, 3 months is a short time, but it's a battle that I feel that I'm winning right now. And I'm glad that you're giving me the opportunity to share. And I'm encouraging you to carry this platform on, and I'm encouraging people to join in this movement of yours, man. It's encouraging to hear other people's journey because you never know how far you've come and how far you're going, you know. And yeah, big ups to you, man. You've got something good going on, and it's not easy, guys, for the people who are smoking, and people are it's not easy. Like, don't be looking at me like I'm a champion. Hey, what hard, man? Like, even talking to you right now, I feel like just to talk.
Imagine.
Yeah. But yeah, on that note, my man, as I said, it's encouraging that people have won the battle, are winning the battle, and you just can only just join them in the statistics and praise yourself.
I also have to say thank you to the likes of you, because a lot of people that have smoked or are still smoking or are battling the smoking thing don't want to come forward. Because they've been doing it in the dark. And so for some of us, for not myself, I try and reach out to more people to speak about it, speak up, because this thing is actually a big issue and people don't. It's a silent killer. And a lot of us are not even aware of the numbers. None of us actually go into the net and start researching to find out exactly what is this thing and what we do it ourselves. But now, I get excited when I get people like you that want to speak about it, you know, because it encourages somebody out there that is silently going through this battle and they keep, you know, relapsing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Could be, we never know what you say could resonate with the next person, and that one is the thing that actually makes them stop smoking, you know. Yeah, but yeah, man, I really do thank you for this. Definitely edit it this week and put it up by hopefully by beginning of next week. So it will be next week.
No doubt, buddy. Thank you for having me. And just on I think as you said, one thing is it's important to empower yourself with the knowledge, and I'm definitely going through those numbers because I'm really shaken up. I'm really shaken up, and I think that's another thing people stray away from. The facts.
Yeah.
You know, you've encouraged me to actually go as much as I say I'm quitting is to actually go check them out. You know, the story you're telling me about your friend, it's one we shy away from the truth, and life catches up with you, bro.
Yeah, true.
Life catches up with you, and whether you're ready or not, it will come and bite you now.
It will. And the angle that I've decided to go on is not on a health, because I'm not a specialist when it comes to this thing. I can't tell you how much damage you've done to yourself, but I'm trying to encourage people through people's journeys, you know, successful journeys and stuff like that. But also, I would like to bring in, you know, such people as your partner to tell their journey. How was it for her when their partner was a smoker, or their colleagues are smokers and they find themselves, you know, not taking those smoke breaks that the other people do take, or they come back to the room and they reek of cigarettes and it's a really beautiful smell. You know, how did they?
My goodness. Jeez.
I like how you just.
You know, I'm getting that mental image. Like it's so sad. Like I was one of them. You know, it's horrific. Yes, that stuff reeks, dog.
Yeah, it does. It does, mate. Anyway, thanks a lot, mate.
Thank you, buddy.
For this, yeah.
Thank you, buddy. Have a good one, man.
Good luck on your journey. Yeah?
Thank you so much, buddy.
Cool stuff. Buddy.
Keep on inspiring, man.
Short.
Thank you, that.
Away.